Select your team on.
Good.
All right, good evening and welcome to Sports Today. My name is Ruturaj Pathak. I'm joined by Boryada and of course Pragyan Oja. Gentlemen, जो कहो मैच बहुत अच्छा था and especially that last over by Kamlesh. I think that was a steal for Kolkata. In spite of that, CSK winning and Mumbai now qualify for the playoffs and chances really dim for Kolkata now, Boryada.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I thought Kamlesh was superb. Let's give it to him. Anyone who says anything, Ravindra Jadeja, 200 times out of 200. There's no chance. Honestly, there is no chance in a T20 contest. So Kamlesh Nagarkoti, by virtue of the fact that he took it to the last ball or something like that, was incredible. That third, fourth ball where he did not give any runs, 7 of 2. It was hats off to that youngster. I mean, he was calm, he was composed, he was excellent. Having said that, I just want to put this on record. Kolkata Knight Riders, give them a kick themselves. Rinku Singh, 2 overs 9 onwards, comes in to bat. They have a very good start, Kolkata, thanks to Nitish, Rana and Shubman Gill. And you know what? They send Rinku Singh between overs 9 and 14 when Owen Morgan is chilling his heels in the pavilion and Rinku Singh scores a Rana ball. Whoever is strategizing for that team should be given a ticket and said, get out. Simple. Get out. 11 out of 11 in that middle of the innings. And now think, 11 instead of 11, it would have been 16, which is par. They got 172, which is 8.5, right? 8.5, 9. So those 11, 12 balls would have fetched 18. If it would have fetched 18, this is a different game. There's something dumbing about Kolkata Knight Riders this season. I'm sorry, they do not deserve to be in the playoffs.
All right. Pragyan, your take on Kolkata's performance today, especially on Morgan's captaincy?
I think it goes deeper than Morgan's captaincy. As Boryada mentioned, the think tank. When you have on Morgan, Dinesh Karthik, and Rahul Tripathi, 3 guys regularly playing for you, sitting out, and a young boy, Rinku Kumar, who's playing his first game, comes in at number 4, plays those 11 balls. Those 11 balls, if you would simply divide between these 3 guys, you would have got at least 15-20 runs more. And those runs costed them the game. And the other mistake, I'll tell you, while bowling, there was no need of bowling Nitish Rana. 1 over 16 runs. See, you are already minus 15-20 runs. Now again you give Nitish Rana off spinner against Ruturaj, Gaikwad and Raidu.
Both
Don't
of
you think they'll take
right-handers.
you on? 2 right-handers? Both were 2 right-handers, exactly.
Right-handers and Indian boys who played
Yeah.
Nitish Rana in club cricket in India, in domestic cricket. This is not Shane Watson batting. This is Raidu and Ruturaj, who will close their eyes and tonk Nitish Rana. It is, I mean, I'm telling you, I mean, I am looking at it and I'm like, who's walking out? Who's walking out? Am I seeing right? No, that's not Tripathi, that's Rinku Singh. I'm like, come on, man. I mean, is this a musical chair going on? चल यार तू आज चला जा आज तेरा बारी है तू जा चल यार तू भी जाके खेल ले ये हो रहा है क्या यार this is your playoff position is in the balance. Come on, man.
And it was very interesting. So when the match started, I think that one thing that all my friends and everybody was asking, आज कोलकाता के लिए open कौन करेगा? Because we are on the 49th match of the IPL and we still couldn't figure who would be the openers for Kolkata today.
I told
So I
you
guess
in
that,
the
yeah.
pre-show. I told
No,
you in
of
the
course.
pre-show. When you're entering the business end of the tournament and your playoffs are at stake, you should not be thinking about who should be opening or who should be a number 4. These things has to be sorted. You look at the record. KKR were in a very good position. Had they won this game, which was in their side, They just let go of it. Those two decisions changed the game. Everything else was fine. Two bowlers, Narayan bowled well, Varun is in good form. After those two bowlers, 8 overs, when you have two bowlers bowling those 8 overs really well, still you're losing in those 12 overs, then that's a big thing.
I
Yeah,
would add
it is.
four more overs of Pat Cummins to what he just said. He was the one who got them back. It was Patrick Cummins with the wicket of Ruturaj Gaikwad who got them back. I mean, that was a sensational over. And that's when they got that cushion. And once they got that cushion, I mean, come on, yeah. I mean, I can't fathom that Nitish Rana over. I can't digest that over. I mean, you have two Indian boys. I still, चलो यार एक left hander होता तो मैं मान लेता okay they're taking a punt with an off spinner. अच्छा left hander somehow कुछ तो हो जाएगा. Sam Curran might as well try. Ruturaj Gaikwad and Ambati Raidu against that right. I mean, someone's sort of doing something.
Boryada, that's
Yeah.
why those coaches, those olden day coaches, the old school coaches, they tell you watch the game. Had KKR noticed, Karan Sharma was bowling the 16th over, and he got those three sixes, back to back sixes against who?
Yes,
Nitish Rana and Morgan.
exactly. And that
You
was a long
cannot
one.
do that. These guys repeated the same mistake. You
Yeah.
cannot do that mistake. When two left-handers are batting, your leg side is shorter for the left-hander, and you're bowling a Karan Sharma. Why will those two left-handers not take a chance in 16th over? The same thing
Yeah.
happened with Nitish Rana when he came out to bowl. He gave away those 16 runs to these two right-handers. And you see where Raidu hit him. It was all on the shorter side. He was aiming at the shorter side. So you have to, every time you do a lot of strategy, you do a lot of reading of the game. But the most important thing, and it is old school, before all this analysts and everybody, it was the coach used to sit and watch what the other team is doing, what are the mistakes they're doing, what are the positives they're doing. That's how you improvise yourself when you're playing on a particular venue and against a particular team. These
Yeah.
things I think need to be addressed.
Also, gentlemen, Bureda, today I was actually very happy for Varun Chakravarti and for that wicket that he took. So, also we have a question from Amaraj Singh. He's asking, what is your opinion on Varun Chakravarti, India's very own mystery spinner? Bureda. And also you've got Kamrish Sethi asking before that, Dhoni as a batsman? Question mark.
Also as a captain. Pragyan Ojha just said the reason. I mean, it was, I am bad, you are worse. Let's put it that way. I mean, it was 155, 160 total. Mahendra Singh Dhoni, by going to Karan Sharma in that over, he had Sam Curran, he had Deepak Chahar, he had Lungi Engidi, and he did not finish any. He did not finish any of them because he went to Karan Sharma and got tonked. And there is absolutely no reason to go to. And if you see, except the shorter boundary part, I've said word for word. I was like on commentary, I said word for word what Pragyan said. Because it was just basic sense that why would you go to Karan Sharma in that over against a left-hander? And Nitish Rana, by the way, was running out of steam. And the moment he went to Engidi, and I said, now there's a wicket. And after the wicket, Dinesh Karthik at least will finish well. See, we kept saying Dinesh Karthik finisher, finisher, finisher. Look at what he did
Yeah.
today. It was what, 21 of some 9 balls, 10 balls. They got to
10 balls.
172. Look, there you can't. Varun Chakravarti, Pragyan Ocha was sensational this morning. And I was watching him and I was thinking what Pragyan said. Pushing the ball, shoulder,
Yeah.
fingers, and look at the turn,
And
play as,
and
as
and
an
the
off spin.
and the most
Everything I
important thing,
was,
Boryada, and the
Yeah.
most important thing, Boryada, when you don't understand what this man is doing, play in
play
front
him off
foot.
the front foot.
Play in.
Exactly.
That's what
That's
Yeah.
the great Sunil Gavaskar sir also said on air. You can go back and see. He said
Yeah.
if you're not reading someone, try and cut down his spin. Don't let the ball do anything when you go to back. When you go on your back foot, you're letting that ball do that much, which is required to get you out. So if you're on front foot, you're cutting down everything.
That's really
And
interesting.
to answer
Yeah.
that question on MS has always struggled against mystery spin, by the way. If you go and check Ajanta Mendes, if you go and check MS's career, This is 2-2 for Varun Chakravarti. Even in the first leg, it was Varun Chakravarti who picked MS with that slower, loopy ball, and CSK lost it. Again, it was Varun Chakravarti. And as I said, I mean, I was thinking of Pragyan Oja's masterclass and following it ball for ball, trying to make sense more now that he had explained to us in the manner that he did. And it
Yeah.
was perfect. It was perfect. But MS Dhoni, he really, and I say this, either he needs to practice, get some form of domestic cricket from January when domestic cricket does happen, because he just can't turn up. He just can't turn up and think I'll get it going. It doesn't happen. You might be God. You might have had the greatest of careers. The sport is bigger than you, miss. Anybody for that matter. You just can't turn up and say, I'll tonk the ball. Won't happen. Won't happen. And that's evident.
Yeah. Also, we've got Suranjan Mukherjee asking Pragyan sir, could you share some more secrets on Varun Chakravarti's secret with us, success with us? Yeah.
I think he needs to watch the pre-show. You'll get the
Yeah.
secrets out. I've explained it to you. His go-to ball, the wicket the ball that gives him wicket is the ball that comes in. The variation is the ball that goes out.
Yeah.
If you see the first dismissal of MS Dhoni, first time when these two guys faced each other, MS Dhoni read the ball, it was coming in. But as Boryada said, had he been in that, match practice and had he played number of games, he wouldn't have missed it. You see both his reactions, First one was, I missed it.
Yeah.
Second one
Yeah.
was, he was
First.
surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. He didn't know what happened. So you have to read those things. And if you want to see the explanation about Varun, then I think Suranjan, you have to watch the pre-show.
Absolutely. You have to go check out the pre-show in which Pragyan has completely sort of explained his entire action. So you have to watch that on Sports Today for sure. Well, with that, Boryada, how did your fantasy team perform today?
Superbly. Superbly. I I mean, I'll send you the screenshot. I had Ruturaj Gaikwad as captain and Lungi Engidi as vice captain. So I've
Oh,
told
wow.
you, keep your openers. I've told you guys repeatedly, keep the openers. Nitish, Shubman, Shane Watson, Ruturaj, keep the openers. And obviously then you had, the all-rounders, middle-order bowlers. So anybody will have a Pat Cummins. You must have had a Pat Cummins. You must
Yeah.
have had a Varun Chakravarti. And you must have from the other side had Lungi. I've told you, follow the formula. The opening bowlers and opening batters, 90% put them in. You cannot go wrong in fantasy. I played with 11 teams. I think one with all 11 or maybe 10. But the top team, I think, got 700 points, which is extremely good. It will
Yeah.
work. It's a formula, and now I think we've broken that formula. But you asked me, I'm happy for Varun. I'm as happy for Ruturaj. Spark.
Yes.
Spark.
Yes.
That
Yes.
fellow had COVID. That fellow had COVID, and anyone who's had COVID, and I've had people close to me who have lost, I've had people close to me who have recovered, and all of them tell me that the weakness is the main thing. It just saps you. It makes you really weak. A fellow journalist, Pragya knows, Gautam Da, he said he could not lift his limb. He was that weak. He said, I was watching that Amitabh Bachchan song, Chukar Mere Man Ko something. He
Yeah.
said, and that is sort of shot in Netaji Indoor Stadium, Calcutta. He said, I switched that on and I thought, I can't ever do this again in my life, so might as well switch it off. It had taken such kind of a mental toll on him. Now, this chap had COVID and he came back after COVID. How many opportunities did he get? 2. And we heard no spark. Last 2 games, boss, the sport is bigger. I'm very, very happy for Ruturaj Gaikwad as well.
And also, of course, Ruturaj Gaikwad, but also, Nagarkoti. The fact that he was injured for so long and sort of, coming back, making an impact. You have some stories about Nagarkoti to share with us, Boryada.
Yeah,
He deserves that
he
too.
yeah, and I will tell you that story because before the tournament started, what is that fellow's name? Shivam Mavi, Kamlesh Nagarkoti, and we did a 1-hour show. So they actually shared plenty of anecdotes and stories and stuff. So some great stories. But Pragyan, I'll tell you the story. Are you impressed with Ruturaj? Ruturaj. I am quite impressed with Ruturaj, temperament especially.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
I'm very much. It really shows. As you said, COVID is a very big thing. It affects different people in a different way. When we see the other side, Deepak Chahar, from ball one, he was all right. But we cannot take everybody into the same boat. It would have affected Rituraj in a very different way. We don't know, but coming back and then getting those crucial runs for your team in the latest stage, it's amazing. It shows the character in this boy. He wanted to prove something. He wanted
By the
to
way,
show that
he's
he
man
is
of the
good.
match again. So
Yes,
Oh,
consecutive matches, man of the match.
all
superb.
right. I don't
That's
have
brilliant.
access to television right now, but all right. Super. No, really happy for that man. So you were giving us some Chakravarti stories. Sorry, Nagarkoti.
Kamlesh, yeah. So
Yeah.
Kamlesh is very funny. Kamlesh, of course, it's not happening now. So I told Kamlesh that suppose Kamlesh, you have a very good tournament. What's going to be? Will you speak to your owner? Will you tell him something? And he starts chuckling, and I'm like, "Why are you laughing? What's happened?" He says, "No, Matt, I will go up to Shah Rukh Khan and I'll tell him there's a new Dawn." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, I will just go up to him and say the mantle of Dawn has shifted. I am the new Dawn." I'm like, "Wow, man, you're a superstar, you are." I mean, he's
Yeah.
got a tremendous sense of humor. And all of a sudden, he says, "I'll go up to Shah Rukh Khan and tell him there's a new Dawn." I'm like, brilliant, man, brilliant. And, these chaps are very, very witty. So Shivam was telling me that Kamlesh is the sort of badmash of the lot. He goes
Yeah.
after everybody. Everybody. Rinku's the best dancer. They used to play Shah Rukh Khan quizzes during quarantine. And Rinku's the best dancer. Shubman's also good. But Kamlesh is the wicked, the naughty of the lot.
Now, what about Ruturaj?
Ruturaj, see, I don't know Ruturaj personally. I have
Okay.
watched him. I have watched him for India A and plenty of times. I mean, India A, I remember 100 that Ruturaj got. See, you know what? What baffles me is before the tournament, and Pragyan can throw light on this, he's played for that franchise. We were told, Pragyan, that he's the replacement for Suresh. And he wasn't persisted with. Very unlike CSK. I mean, they give more opportunities to the youngsters. I was a little taken aback. Your thoughts on that?
Yes, we heard this statement from Mr. N. Srinivasan saying that, they have Rituraj who can fill Suresh Raina's shoes. Saying that, but I felt it was like, he's too young and not that mature to fill someone like Suresh Raina's shoes, because Suresh Raina every year on all this 11 years that is played for CSK, every year he used to come and get those 350, 400, 500 runs. That makes a lot of difference.
Yeah.
And I'll put it on record, more than missing Bhajupa, with all due respect, they
Yeah,
missed
yeah.
Suresh Raina.
Suresh. Yeah, yeah.
In that batting lineup, if you put Suresh Raina, they will look at very different side.
Right.
That
Right.
one of their pillar was missing.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I,
uh, yeah,
no,
same
please
that
go ahead again.
Ruturaj, we cannot compare these two. Maybe if you look at the owner's point of view, when you've lost someone who's done so much for you, the best thing you can do is whoever you
To
have,
cheer him up.
you have to, yeah, cheer him up.
Yeah.
That's how it was. You cannot just say, "Oh, we have missed Rohit Sharma and nobody is there to play." So then you're
Yeah.
not, what will happen to the youngster when he listens to these kind of statements? I think that's a brilliant statement by N. Srinivasan saying that we have Rituraj. It gives a lot of confidence. Imagine Saurav Ganguly, president. Sorry, why to go to Saurav Ganguly? Look at last night's tweet when Ravi Shastri tweeted about Surya Kumar
Surya.
Yadav,
Yeah.
a coach of Indian team tweeting about Surya Kumar Yadav, and I remember Saurav Ganguly tweeting about Devdutt Padikkal. The amount of confidence it gives you.
Yeah.
One is the president, one is the coach of the Indian team. As a youngster, it is so encouraging. It gives you so much confidence and gives you that push to do
That
little
boost.
more every time you go onto the field.
Yeah, Borita, would you say that, sort of Sam Curran has probably carried the responsibility of the team well in the absence of Suresh Raina? I think he has sort of carried more responsibility like that.
In the sense, not Suresh Raina's role, but Sam
Yeah.
Curran has been their best player. Make no mistake. I mean, if you really see the season, if there's been one standout player for CSK, time in, time out, match after match, every game, batting, bowling, fielding, taking important catches, giving in his 100%, it has to be Sam Curran. I mean, he's their find. If you really think who is their player to be retained, see what has stood out for CSK? Ravi Jadeja's batting, not
Yeah.
the bowling. Ravi Jadeja's batting, especially the finishes in more recent matches, and Sam Curran overall. And to a degree, Deepak Chahar in the opening spell, where he's moved the ball again, picked up important wickets.
Hmm.
Except these three guys and Ruturaj Gaikwad now, two matches, two consecutive man of the matches, and Ambati in patches. So these are the guys who you actually think CSK. These are the guys. But on the other hand, for Kolkata, I mean, again, I am sorry, I can't just get over. I mean, Rahul Tripathi, everybody said opener 3, 4. Today, Rahul Tripathi comes at 7 again and plays two balls. Yeah, what is going on? I mean, Rahul Tripathi came and played that beautiful shot. It didn't go for a 4, it went for 1. If you see that shot,
Yeah.
third fielder stopped it. But where did you bat that guy? After Royan Morgan, after Dinesh Karthik at number 7. You mean to say Rinku Singh, who's not played a single game, and Rahul, who's been opening and getting runs and doing whatever for you, you swap it? For what? For what? You tell me. Give me one valid reason, and I'll understand that. And Sunil
Yeah.
Narayan is a hit and miss. We keep saying this. Sunil Narayan is a hit and miss. He will. Everybody knows. He'll come. He'll tuck. जिस दिन लग गया तो लग गया, जिस दिन नहीं लगा तो गया. So anyway.
Anyway, so we've got a lot of viewers asking the same question: Why Rinku before Owen Morgan? So a lot of those questions were answered. We've got Chotan Mishra asking an interesting question, sir. He's asking, can we say that after Kapil Dev, Ravindra Jadeja is the best all-rounder of all times of the Indian team? Your take on that? That's a huge comparison.
This is a bit of a blowout. I mean, Ravindra Jadeja after Kapil Dev.
Probably we could answer, who do you think is probably the best all-rounder that you think the Indian team has?
Now fit Hardik Pandya, a fit Hardik
Yeah.
Pandya. Yeah, I mean, if he's bowling, Jaddu is very good. Pragyan, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, fielder, if you really take everything, then Jaddu is a package, but not Kapil
Yeah.
Panch.
I think I need some time for this question
even
to sink
digest.
in.
To fathom that.
You're
Yeah,
talking about
Kapil Panch.
someone who used to change the game with bat at will and with the ball at will. And I can never forget that catch Kapil Paji took running towards the boundary line. He was
Vivian
too good,
Richards.
and yeah, exactly. And everybody is miles behind. Miles behind. They have to prove a lot. They have to prove a lot to, be even close to Kapil Paji. Uh, I always talk
Never,
about,
never,
there are 4 or
never
5
bowled a
people
no ball.
who, yeah, true. He was never injured in his life, in his career.
Think. Never bowled
What is
a
that?
no
I
ball.
think,
And for me, Ridhima, there are few people who were the pillars of Indian cricket. First, we
course.
saw, Sunil Gavaskar sir, then Kapil Paji, then, Sachin Tendulkar, and then MS Dhoni. These 4, they changed everything. That era, if you see, they've changed so much. So when you're comparing someone with Kapil Paji,
Mat
you
karna.
have to think, yeah.
yeah, you got to be careful. But the
Okay,
fact that he was
I'll quickly
Yeah.
एक story बता देते हैं because
Sure.
Pragyan mentioned that catch. If you go and speak to, and I've spoken to every member of the West Indian team, every member of the Indian team. If you go and speak to Madipa, and all of you have access to YouTube and Google and whatever, you can just go and check. The moment Madanlal bowls the ball and Vivian Richards tuck, he hits it. Madanlal's face does so he bowls the ball and it's like this. So he says, my first thought was, who is under the ball? I had to see who is under the ball. The moment I saw it was Kapil running, I knew done. He will take it. Whatever happens, we will take it. Vivian Richards told me the moment I hit that shot, And my first thought was, who's there? No other Indian fielder would have even gotten close. He said, the moment I saw Kapil, my heart sank. That whatever happens, this guy is such an athlete that he will go and get it. And he went and got it. Doordarshan cameras at that point in time, BBC, the ball doesn't come to the hand, it freezes there, up in the air. So you will not see the ball falling into his hands. But that's the perennial, that's the charm of old school television cameras. And Kapil Paji, only guy to have smuggled a bottle of champagne in his bag during the World Cup final. On that particular day, the West Indians had 30 bottles of champagne. India won, and that to Kapil Dev, who nurtured this little ambition of winning the World Cup. So after winning the World Cup, they rush back to the pavilion. They have one bottle of champagne. Guess what Kapil Paji had? A glass of milk.
What?
Yes. Kapil Paji went back to the pavilion and had a glass of milk.
Amazing, amazing.
What a lovely story. What a lovely story. Thank you so much, Boryada. I think we should say no more. I think we should call it a night on that beautiful, beautiful story. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thanks a lot for joining on Sports Today.
But
A big
tell
thank you.
people,
Yes, sir.
tell people tomorrow morning update on Rohit Sharma and Ishant Sharma on Sports Today. 10:30, fresh update on Rohit and Ishant on Sports Today.
Well, you heard the man loud and clear, so you don't want to miss that. And thank you so much for tuning in. Of course, I'm going to see you tomorrow morning. Until then, have a great night.